Hi everyone, I am the Tax Pro, and today we're going to talk about writing checks in QuickBooks Online. So a check is very similar to an expense in that you are writing out a check to a vendor. You're paying for something at that point in time, but you're actually utilizing a check. The difference between expense and check transactions is really just one, you can choose to print the check via QuickBooks Online if you have it set up that way, or you can just put the check number in instead of a reference number. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If we were to do an expense, which you can utilize the expense transaction instead of the check transaction. That's okay. So if we were to do an expense, this is what it looks like. If we had a check that we were writing out, and we wanted to use the expense versus check feature, you could just put your check number right here in the reference number. That's perfectly acceptable. That's okay. The difference here is that there's not an option to print your check, okay? So a lot of small business owners don't necessarily use the print check feature in QuickBooks Online, so it's kind of irrelevant if they're using an expense versus a check. Let me show you what, we're going to leave without saving. This is what a check looks like. Very similar. You can choose the payee, so let's choose Bluebird Technologies. We're going to say it's coming out of the checking account. Ignore the negative balance. That's just because this isn't a real company that I show how to use these features with, and I just need to put something in the checking account. So right here you can do the check number. You can choose to print it later. So if you are printing your checks through QuickBooks Online and you click the print later, essentially QuickBooks Online will assign it a number once you actually print your checks. This is just saying, I don't know what the check number is because I haven't printed it yet. So you can choose to print it later. You can go in and you can select what category you're going to put it in. Maybe we're going to say shipping. So we've paid Bluebird Technologies for shipping out our products or something like that. Maybe we're going to do $567. You can add a memo just like you can in an expense transaction. You can add attachments just like you can in the expense transaction. Really, the only difference here is it allows you to track check numbers. That is the only feature outside of printing the checks. So if you don't print checks through QuickBooks Online, if you are tracking your check numbers maybe in a physical register when you write them out, there's no need to utilize the check feature versus the expense feature. Okay, they're essentially the same. So that's how you do a check transaction within QuickBooks Online. I like to use the plus new button and select check. And again, you can utilize the expense if you would prefer. I will see you guys next time.